Hello everybody, it is Dylan from Yugioh Everything, and welcome back to a Yugioh VRains discussion. The new summoning method has just been revealed. Link summoning, that is the name of the, I believe, 6th or 7th new summoning method, when you consider advanced summoning, advanced and tribute are the same thing, ritual, pendulum, Xyz, synchro, fusion. I believe it's the 7th, and I guess there's dimension summoning too. I mean, there's a bunch of different summoning, but this is the new big mechanic coming with Yugioh VRains, so I will get into it. I will leave all the links to all these sources down below. We are going to be getting just a lot of information this weekend, so I will do my best to make as many videos as possible, but then again, I am going to wait until we get kind of the full story. I don't want to bombard you guys with like 10 videos, especially if something that I make, like a rumor or something, is going to be answered after translations come out in like 3 hours. I'm just going to wait, so just keep that in mind if my videos are a little delayed when the initial news comes out. But anyway, here is the first thing. This is about the anime, and then we'll get quickly into the link summoning. The location depicted in VR series dual concept image name is finally released. Boards are used to ride the data wind. Duels now are virtual reality. Yusaku turns into a hero in virtual reality space. The dual virtual reality space where duels are held is called Link VRains. So there is the series name. We wondered if VRains would have a meaning behind it, like Zexal and Arc 5 did, even 5Ds, 5 Dragons. The virtual reality space is called Link VRains. So VRains is the name of the virtual reality space, and that is why the show is called Yugioh VRains. But now we are going to get into something that I'm sure most people are very excited about, which is the new summoning mechanic, link summoning. I'm going to be doing a lot of reading, and this is where I love being doing videos like this, because as someone who only plays the card game on like Millennium Duels and Legacy of the Duelist, I don't really know what competitive players are going to think about this, so please, if you play the game, let me know what you think down below of the new summoning mechanic. So here it is, introducing the link summoning and changes to the dueling field. And first of all, here is the Code Talker. So here's the Code Talker's effects. And by the way, it's not confirmed on this, but I've heard from a few different people upon waking up, I just woke up about 20 minutes ago, that the Code Talker is going to be more of a Junk Warrior Elemental Hero Flame Wingman monster, not the official ace of Yusaku. I don't know how true that is. Again, everything is still preliminary, but just keep that in mind that all the information we get, even though the magazine, the Weekly Shonen video that I just did yesterday, stated that the Code Talker was his ace. But then again, some people consider duelists to have multiple ace, like Flame Wingman. You know, Judai's ace is clearly Neos, but Flame Wingman was still a vital part of his deck. So was Junk Warrior with Yusei. So just keep that in mind. But here he is. He's a Dark Cybers type Link effect monster. Is Cybers a new archetype? I'd imagine it is. He's a Link 3 monster with 2300 attack. There's probably the first symbol that it's not his ace monster, because it only has 2300 and not 2500. Materials 2 or more effect monsters. So I guess by summoning 2 or more effect monsters, you can then special summon or link summon Decode Talker. This card gains 500 attack for each monster linked to it. So just to summon it, it's going to have 3,300 attack points. When an opponent's, because you need at least 2 effect monsters, when an opponent's card effect that targets a card you control is activated, you contribute one of your monsters linked to this card, negate that activation, and if you do, destroy it. Very similar to Utopia's overlay units, where if a monster attacks, even though this is a little better because with Utopia, monster attacks, you can negate that attack. This time, if a card effect, well, so I guess it can't negate attack, so I guess it's kind of the other side. If a card effect targets a card, you can get rid of one of your linked monsters and then destroy that card. So that is a pretty interesting card right there in Decode Talker. Here are the further information on link summoning. Look at those distinctive link markers. Use these markers to develop brand new strategies that goes into your extra deck. There are 2 ways of link summoning. Send materials to the grave equal to the link number, or you can link summon something from your extra deck by sending the same number of monsters that meet the material requirements written in the card's effect box, whose total numbers equal to the link number from the field to the graveyard. Decrease materials by using link monsters. Link monsters are treated as the same number of materials as its link number. However, to use them, you must match the requirements written on the card. In the case of Decode Talker, because it is a Link 3 monster, you can either use 3 effect monsters or use 1 Link 2 effect monsters and 1 effect monster. Pay attention to the direction of the link markers. The zones pointed to by each link marker and the cards in them will be affected by the link monster, and this will create new strategies. They have no defense. Link monsters have no defense points, and they have the special characteristic of being unable to change their battle positions or turning to defense positions by effect, so that is kind of interesting. Then again, I feel like defense is usually kind of not really relevant in the anime, but now that they're kind of bringing that to the real life game, I don't know how relevant defense is in the real game. I know when I play, I rarely, utilize defense monsters and stuff like that, but I guess for burn decks, for walls, they're kind of useful. But anyway, the newly created extra monster zones, you can only use one of them. When the duel begins, neither extra monster zone is considered to belong to a specific player. When a player special summons a monster to one of them, that zone then becomes treated as part of that player's field, and the other then becomes treated as the other player's field. The tactics of a duel will change drastically depending on who can grab an extra monster zone first. An extra deck monster can only be summoned to the extra deck monster zone, but if you summon a link monster to one of the extra deck monster zones first, you can utilize it to its max potential. Extra deck monsters like Fusion, Synchro, Xyz, and Link cannot be summoned to the main monster zone. Beware. What has been the monster zone up until now is now the main monster zone. The pendulum zone is on the left and the right of the spell and trap zone. You can use it as a normal zone, but when you place pendulum cards there, it is treated as the pendulum zone. So here, the zones pointed at by the link markers can be used to bring out extra deck monsters. So it's all, to me, it's all very confusing. And I'll read one last thing, and there is a Q&A at the bottom that maybe the more people will want to read, and I'll link this all down below. Although extra deck monsters can only be summoned to the extra deck monster zone, normally if you have a link monster in the extra monster zone, the zones pointed out by their link markers can be used to summon extra deck monsters. So if you get a link summon out quickly, you can bring out Fusion, Synchro, and Xyz monsters in succession. Of course, you can summon another link monster in one of these zones, so if you play your cards right, you can fill your entire main monster zone with extra deck monsters. The new metagame will require careful consideration of where to place monsters. So please let me know, to the competitive players, what you think of this. I think there's going to be a lot of confusion until we see it demonstrated, maybe by people at Nihon, well, not Nihon Ad Systems, but maybe at people that work for Yu-Gi-Oh! Konami. Maybe they'll put out a video demonstration, or until we see the anime and see how things work, because honestly, just reading it and showing you this picture, it's still a bit over my head. But what I do like about this, what I really do like about this, it seems Fusion, Synchro, and Xyz monsters are relevant. It seems those monsters are relevant, especially because they kind of highlight that strategizing it. Now, it could be just because they're still going to be relevant in the main TCG, but I'm hoping that in the anime, we still have all the summoning methods, and even if they get rid of Pendulum, whatever. But if we have Fusion, Synchro, Ritual, and Xyz monsters, I think that would be really cool, and the signs are that maybe we will have that. Also, it looks like Link monsters are going to be kind of this blue kind of card, which are also rituals. Maybe it's a darker shade of blue. I forget what ritual. Looking at ritual monsters right now, ritual monsters are kind of maybe lighter blue, and that's a darker blue. I wish they kind of just went with a completely different color, but I guess they've used, besides like red, they've used pretty much every color in the book. So that is Link summoning. That is Link Shoken, which I'm sure we will hear a lot of during Yu-Gi-Oh! VRains, and definitely excited for more news. I'm going to be doing a Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc 5 discussion later in the day. There was some news brought up about that show, pretty minor, about another monster that we will be seeing in one of the episodes that I feel has kind of been swept under the rug due to all the Yu-Gi-Oh! VR information. But I will be bringing that discussion later in the day. So please, guys, let me know what you think of this, especially to the people that play this game. Let me know how you think this might affect the anime, and let me know if you still want to see all these summoning methods in the anime, because personally, I really do. Keep it right here, Yu-Gi-Oh! Everything, for all information regarding Yu-Gi-Oh! VR. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will talk to you in the comments below. Have a wonderful day, and enjoy your weekend.
Let's take a dive in aquatic